Myself, Professor Santosh Dinkar Gadekar, JSPM's Bhurabai Sawant Institute of Technology and Research, Wagholi, Pune, Department of Electrical Engineering. Today, we are going to study the experiment number 1 of power system operation control. The title of the experiment is to apply equal area criteria for stability analysis under sudden rise in mechanical input. For this experiment, we will require MATLAB Simulink software. Before going in detail, we have to study the theory behind the experiment. We will start with equal area criteria. What is meant by equal area criteria? The equal area criteria states that the positive accelerating area PA versus delta curve must be equal to negative decelerating area, and hence the name is called as equal area criteria of stability. In terms of integration, it is given as integration of delta 0 to delta PA d delta is equals to 0. Here you can find the power angle curve of a machine is given. Here you can see the area 1, that is accelerating area, and area 2, that is decelerating area, must be equal under sudden disturbances or transient disturbances. So, in this particular machine, the mechanical power P m 0 is increased to P m 1. So, this is one type of disturbance, and under this condition, when these areas, that is area 1 and area 2 are equal, then only we can say the machine is stable. Applications of equal area criteria. For this experiment, we are going to see the first application, that is sudden change in mechanical input. For this, we will have to study the transient model of generator, which is connected to infinite bus bar. So, we will start with generator, which is connected to the infinite bus bar through its internal reactance X d dash, transmission line reactance X c, and generator's voltage is V angle 0. In this particular condition, the generator is supplied by mechanical power P m. Under this condition, the generator will deliver electrical power P is equals to E dash into V upon X d dash plus X c sin delta. This equation we can also write P max sin delta. So, this particular experiment, we have to study up to what amount we can increase the mechanical power to the generator. Here you can see the mechanical power is given by P m. We have to study up to what this mechanical power we can increase, so that the generator will remain in the stable condition. Under this condition, the generator must be remain in stable condition. For that, we will start with the initial operating point of the generator, which is given by P m 0 is equals to P 0, which is equals to P max sin delta 0. So, here P m 0 is the initial mechanical power, P 0 is the initial electrical power, and the corresponding power angle is given by delta 0. On the power angle curve, we will plot these points. This is power angle curve, P versus delta. We will start with initial operating point, P m 0 is equals to P 0. So, corresponding operating point is A, corresponding power angle is delta 0. Now, the mechanical power is increased from P m 0 up to P m 1. During the increase in the mechanical power, the rotor will start accelerating, because mechanical power P m 1 is greater than electrical power P e. So, rotor will accelerate, and delta, that is power angle, will starts increasing from delta 0 to delta 1. So, the new operating point will be B. During this change, the area covered is A 1, which is called as accelerating area. After the accelerating area, the energy stored in the during the accelerating area A 1 will be given back. So, for that purpose, the rotor will starts decelerating, but angle, that is power angle, will starts increasing from delta 1 to delta 2. So, the new new point we will find C corresponding to delta 2. The area is A2. The machine will be stable only when the areas A1 and A2s are equals. So, A1 and A2 must be equal. So, we have to find out, our aim of the experiment is we have to find out the maximum possible value of PM1. When we increase the power, mechanical power from PM0, then we will observe whether the machine is stable or not. Suppose if we increase PM0 to this point, then we will observe area 1 is equal to area 2 is or not. Then we will further increase the mechanical power, then we will further increase the mechanical power. In this way, we will find out the maximum possible mechanical power that can be applied on the generator without losing its synchronism. So, for that purpose, we will apply the equal area criteria on this particular machine. So, equal area criteria gives us that integration of delta 0 to delta max P A d delta is equals to 0. So, once we applied the equal area criteria on this particular power angle curve, we will formulate the equation. So, equations are given by integration of delta 0 to delta 1 P m minus P max sin delta d delta is equals to delta 1 to delta max P max sin delta minus P m d delta. Solve the integration. So, we will get the answer P m into bracket delta max minus delta 0 is equals to P max into bracket cos delta 0 minus cos delta max. We will put P m is equals to P max sin delta max into this equation. In this equation, we will put P m is equals to P max sin delta max. So, the equation will become cos delta 0 minus into bracket sin delta max bracket delta max minus delta 0 bracket complete plus cos delta max bracket complete is equals to 0. This function is called as residual function. When this residual function is solved by iterative method for delta max, we will get the maximum possible mechanical power that can be applied on the generator. As you can see in this particular power angle curve, this is delta max and corresponding power is given by P m. So, when you find out the delta max, you will get the P m. So, for that purpose, this residual function we will solve by iterative method for maximum value of delta. Once we find out delta max, we will get the P m. So, P m is equal to P max sin delta 1, where delta 1 is equals to P pi minus delta max. Then we will find out for error minimization, we will find out the derivative of residual function with respect to delta max. So, derivative of residual function is given by derivative function. It is given by cos delta max into bracket delta max minus delta 0 is equals to 0. This is called as derivative function. So, these two functions we need to remember while solving the numerical and while forming the program in the MATLAB Simulink software. Now, we will start with the numerical. The statement of the numerical is the machine is delivering a real power of 0.6 per unit, 0.8 power factor lagging to the infinite bus bar. The infinite bus bar voltage is 1.0 per unit. The transfer reactance and generator internal voltage is x is equals to 0.65 per unit, E dash is equals to 1.35 per unit. Determine the maximum power input that can be applied without loss of synchronism. So, first of all, we will start with finding out the delta 0, that is initial power angle. This is the power angle equation. P is equals to E dash V upon x d dash plus x c sin delta. In our case, x is given as 0.65, E dash is given as 1.35, real power, that is P is given as 0.6 per unit, and infinite bus bar voltage V is equals to 1.0 per unit. So, once we put all these values into this equation, we will get delta 0. So, delta 0 is equals to 0.2931 radian. Then on this curve you just observe that maximum possible value of delta max, if you change the position of delta max to this, the correspondingly mechanical power will be changed. This is mechanical power, new mechanical. Suppose you further increase the value of delta, the mechanical power will again change. So, maximum possible value of delta is pi. So, we initialize the function by taking d max is equals to pi. Here we have initialized d max is equals to pi. Then d d max is equals to 1. Just consider one variable d d max is equals to 1. Then iteration number 1. Just give the name df. You can give any name to this particular equation. This equation you can remember that this equation is called as residual function. Residual function. So, as it is, write down the residual function and give any suitable name to this residual function. You can give Rf, you can give f, you can give s, whatever you want, you just give it. Here I have given df. So, df is the residual function. Once you find out the delta 0, just put here delta 0. D max we have already initialized the value of d max is equals to pi, just put here pi. Then d max delta 0, d max all the value we know, find out df. So, df is equals to in this case 1.9574. Then take the derivative function. Here I have given the name j. So, for derivative function I have given the name j. You can take any name. So, cos delta max d max minus delta 0, all the values we have already initialized. D max we have already initialized to pi and delta 0 we have calculated. Just put the values, find out j. So, you will get j is equals to minus 2.8485. Then take the ratio of df versus j, that is residual function to derivative function. Take the ratio of residual function to derivative function and we have called this ratio as dd max. We have called this ratio as dd max. Initially this ratio we have initialized with the one value. Now the value of dd max will get changed to minus 0.6871. Then this value will be put into this equation, that is dd max, d max is equals to d max plus dd max. So, d max is initial value is pi minus 0.6871, the new value will be here 2.4544. Then the new value of d max will be put again for iteration number 2 into this value and dd max value, that is this value will be put into this equation. Then you will solve iteration number 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. You will get the value of d max. You will get the value of d max. Correspondingly, you can find out the answer for PM. Now, MATLAB Simulink program. Initially, we will start with some values that are already given in the statement of the numerical. We will input these values through the keyboard. So, for that purpose, we will require to use the function input. So, input function, when you use input function, you will enter the values through the keyboard. So, P0 we will enter, that is electrical power, we will enter through the keyboard as this value is already given in the statement. Then next value X, that is reactance. Same function we will use for P0 X, then E, that is internal voltage of generator and bus voltage. So, all these 4 values are given in the statement of the numerical. So, all these 4 values we will input using the input function of the MATLAB through the keyboard. Then we will find out maximum value of electrical power, that is P E max. P E max is equals to E into V upon X. Then find out delta 0, initial power angle delta 0. So, here delta 0 can be find out by taking the inverse of sine. So, for sine inverse, to find out the inverse of any trigonometry function, in MATLAB you need to put a in front of the trigonometry function. Here I have to find out the inverse of sine. So, just put a in front of the sine. So, you will get the inverse of sine. So, delta 0, in this way you will get the delta 0. We will initialize the value of delta from 0 to pi. P is equals to P max sine delta. Here I have put semicolon for some statement, and for some statement I have not put the semicolon. So, those values you need to display on the command window. You will not put any semicolon, and those value you need suppose you don't want to display on the command window, just put the semicolon. So, semicolon will be used to hide the values in the command window. When you run the program in the MATLAB, the values will be hidden. Now, next, display using Newton-Raphson method of D max. The method is called as Newton-Raphson method. So, we will put the statement. So, for that statement we will require the function display. So, how this display will be work? Just put DISP into bracket single inverted commas, whatever the statement you want to display, you just put that statement in the single inverted commas and complete the commas, complete the bracket. The statement will be displayed in the command window when you run the program. Now, we will start, as we have seen in the numerical, we will start initializing the value of D max, that is equals to pi. D max, ratio of derivative function to residual function to derivative function, ratio of residual function to derivative function. D max, initial value will be positive, D max is equals to 1. So, while loop we will use. So, absolute value of D max, this will check the absolute value, means only magnitude. This will check the absolute value of D max up to when the 0.001 value. When D max, absolute value of D max is greater than 0.001, then only this particular loop is going to run. If you increase the value 0, one more 0, if you add one more 0 here, that is 0.000, one more 0, 1, then one more iteration will be there. If you add one more 0, then there will be one more iteration. So, for the iteration purpose, you will write this particular condition, number of iterations. This particular iterations give, this particular conditions gives you the number of iterations. In between the while loop, you will write a residual function. Here I have called the residual function as df, and derivative function, here I have called the derivative function as j. Ratio of residual function to derivative function dd max, value of d max, that is d max plus dd max, and end of the iteration. So, critical clearing angle DC is given by pi minus d max. Once you find out the required value of d max, the loop will be end and program flow will be towards this point. So, here up to this point you have find out d max, find out critical clearing angle DC by pi minus d max, you will get delta 2, or you can say critical clearing angle DC. PM is equal to P max sin delta C. Find out mechanical power, corresponding mechanical power. This is the aim of our experiment. PM is equals to P max sin delta C. Put the delta C into this equation, you will get the PM. Similarly, delta 0 is equals to delta 0 into 180 upon pi. Just convert the values. Initially we have find out delta 0, just convert the values into degrees. So, for conversion purpose we will require to multiply by 180 and divide by pi. Similarly, for delta max, this is the last part of the program. Here f printf function we have used to printf the statement like initial power angle, sudden additional power, total power for stability, critical stability, maximum swing angle, new operating point. So, printf function will be work like f printf into bracket in single inverted commas /n new line initial power %f. Every time you put %f, because most of the time the values are in point like 2.1, 1.0, 1.5. So, you write %f, single inverted commas complete, comma P 0. So, whatever statement, whatever value you are to display in the output, you just write down the variable name. Just remember that when you define the variable like P 0 by small letter, then in this particular statement you need to write P 0 in the small letter also. If here delta 0, then you have to write delta 0. Same here I have written P in capital small m. So, P m as it is you have to return. So, printf function. Now, we will see the output. Enter initial power 0.6 is the electrical power, P 0 is equals to 0.6. The output will be like this. Enter transfer reactance 0.65, x will equals to 0.65. Enter internal voltage of generator 1.35, A is equals to 1.35. Enter bus voltage 1, V is equals to 1. P max 2.07, delta 0 0.2931. Using Newton-Raphson method of D max. As you can find, I have told you that this statement we have to display in the command window. So, this statement is displayed. D max 3.14, this is initialization of D max and DD max. This is initialization of D max and DD max. That is D max is equal to 3.1416, DD max is equals to 1. Initial power, this is output, initial power 0.6, initial power angle, sudden additional power, total power for critical stability, maximum swing angle, new operating point. This is the required output. This much amount of power we can add in the generator without disturbing its synchronism. Now, we will run this program in the MATLAB Simulink software. This is the home window of MATLAB Simulink software. Here you can find number of windows. This is command window. In this command window, if you put A is equals to 1, the command will be displayed like A is equals to 1. If you clear, if you put CLC, all the statements run will be vanish. So, when we define any variable, suppose I define the variable f is equals to 1, f is equals to 1, you will find f is equals to 1 here. The last variable f I have defined, f is equals to 1. So, in workspace you will find all the variables that I have defined in the program. In command history, whatever the command you have run, you will find in the command history, and in the current folder the program you stored, you will find the last program you save, you will find the location of that last program in the current folder. Number of windows are there. Now, we will start with file, new, just go through the file, new, script. In script we are going to run the program. So, this is script. I have already written the program, same program that I have already explained in the PPT. As the font size of the program in the MATLAB is very small, you can see here. So, before running the program, we just save the program, save as, whatever name you want to give, just give it, and here you will find the option run. Just run the program. Here you will get the output, experiment number 1, initial power. So, what is initial power? 0.6 is the initial power. Transfer reactance is just see what is transfer reactance. Transfer reactance is 0.65. Internal voltage 1.35, bus voltage 1. Here you can find the answer. Initial power, this is the answer. So, likewise you can run, you can check many programs, you can change the program by some other method, you can make the changes in the program, you can use some other method. Here I have used the Newton-Raphson method of iteration. So, Newton-Raphson method you already studied in the second year subject, that is Newton NMCP, numerical methods. You have studied the Newton-Raphson method. Same method I have used in this particular program. Okay. So, once you complete the program, you can write here CLC, so that the screen will be cleared. Once again we will run the program, just put run 0.6, 0.65, 1.35 and 1. Output will be in front of you.